Hello, everybody. I think I'm unmuted. So we have a format for this, which I'm going to try and follow. And basically, it's me to do a very short introduction to everybody. So you can all say who you are, first of all, so we all know who's in the picture. Just say your name, like we do in circles, but don't say too much else. And because we're short of time, and then I'm going to give a brief history of what we've done so far, and then I'm going to hand over to some of our key speakers who are going to talk about some specific things. And at the end, we'll have a little time for question and answer, but not a lot. We will do follow-up, so you can ask your questions. If we don't have time to answer them, we will do follow-up by either doing another video call or putting more information on FAENet. So is that all clear? Bulbul's introduced Bulbul's self. I've introduced myself, and I'm just going to go around. I'm going to ask Blue Star next to just say hello.
Hello, this is Blue Star.
And next one is La Belle Hélène. You're still unmuted. You're still muted, sorry. Just say hello so we know who you are. No.
I need to unmute myself.
Okay. So I'm just testing so everybody. Helen Mirren, thank you. And then we've got another couple in Belgium, like Eurovision this is. Come in, Belgium.
Belgium 12 points.
Okay. And then upside down, we've got Jumping Daffodil. Hello. Are you in Norway? Jumping. No. Okay. We can't hear you, but never mind. We'll move on. And Shadi, another one in Belgium, are you, or in Guatemala already? Sparkles?
Yeah, I'm in Guatemala for the moment. I just arrived 2 weeks ago.
Wow, wow, we're being international. Whoa. And I'm going to ask...
Guatemala, 10 points.
Yeah, thank you. Quite, it's beyond Eurovision, this one. And then I'm going to go to Lavender. Are you there, Lavender?
Lavender's just joined and hasn't used Zoom before, so you might need to explain. Oh, there you go.
Okay, hello, Lavender. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. And well, as you've spoken next, then who's that? Mr. Paradox. Ms. Paradox.
Hi, I'm Paradox. I'm in London and looking forward to sharing some information about this amazing project.
Okay, and in España, Viva España, we have Priscila.
Good evening from near Malaga on the Costa del Sol, and lovely to see you all.
And more in España, or Catalonia, I should say now. Would you like to introduce the two of you?
Hi.
Hi.
Lumen.
And Trusty, hello.
Hello, Lumen and Trusty. And I think there's a previously naughty person who is now also with us. Would you like to introduce yourself, previously naughty person? That secret door here. Say hello. Can't hear you.
Now it's better?
Yeah, where are you at the moment?
I'm on Tenerife.
Tenerife, oh wow, we're spreading our wings. And I think the only one that I haven't got so far is Pikachu. Pikachu, hello. You there, Pikachu in Folleterre? Or somewhere? All right.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, and another one, we've got Peter Pan. I've missed out Peter Pan. Hello, Peter Pan.
Bonjour,
I didn't hear you there.
Bonjour du sud de la France.
Oh, you're in La France, la belle France. Bonjour.
Ouais, bon.
Bonsoir, peut-être. Okay, so we've all
Bonsoir.
said hello. And so very briefly, what we've done so far is we've had an expedition of 14 of us initially in southern Spain, and then about 10 of us went on to Portugal. And the group that went to Portugal really loved the site in Torteia, which we're going to talk about in more detail, so I'm not going to tell you about that now. But the position that we've reached is that we are almost certainly going to rent the place for probably about a year, maybe 2 years as a renting situation. We're negotiating that with the landlord in Portugal at the moment. Pan is going to talk about that in a while. And when we've finished renting, we hope to buy the place. So while we're living there, that is our plan, to buy the place as a sanctuary. But while we're renting, we'll have some people who are more or less going to be living there during the rental period. There'll be room for possibly others to join them there, depending on how well we do the place up. But other people are going to talk about that in more detail. So that's the rough picture where we are right now. The project is ready to go. We're actively managing it. We've got a really good working group that is working via an application called Slack. And that is seeming to work out very well for us at the moment in terms of organizing. We also have a few WhatsApp groups, and we also have our Iberia group on faerie. So if you want to get in touch with us, we also now have the chance for you to talk to us via faerie in the Iberia group, or you can email us directly. We have a new email address which Pan has set up, and Pan can talk about that. So you can also now email us directly. So that is my very brief introduction to what's going on here. And I was going to ask Mirko, as a person who's been involved in the group that's going to rent, and also a person who's actually seen the site, to talk, but it seems that Mirko's not here. So I'm going to ask Pan just to describe the site for us. Sorry, Paradox first and then Pan. So Paradox first, you can describe the site because you've actually seen it.
Apologies to Mirko, he couldn't be here because of personal issues, but we discussed earlier that I would share some of the information he was going to share. So essentially, at the beginning of this month, we went to see this land, and it was one of 3 pieces of land that we did get to see. And it was a completely stark contrast, the experience that we had on this land compared to the other 2. I'm going to share a picture in order for you to have something to look at while I talk about it. Just learning how to use Zoom. Can everyone see the picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so here, just to get a sense of what we first saw and what we're talking about in terms of buildings, is that you have the big building with the red roof there, and that is a house in 2 parts. The second part of which is the high part, you can see is pretty much all constructed, but it hasn't had doors and windows put on it, and it still needs a small stairwell in it. And behind it is that great big, it's not a barn, there was another word for it. It's somewhere between a barn and a hangar. It's 700 square meters, and it's really big. And if you've seen the videos that I took, you would have seen me stomping around in there, really loving how big it was. And that is set, that building that you see, all of that is set at the very top of a valley that basically goes down, and it goes down over 1 kilometer, and it's facing south, so the sun comes onto it. And as you look down the valley and into the distance, you see the village or town, whatever it is, 2 kilometers away. So that's to start you off seeing the land there. As I walked around it, I felt, to come from a sort of like energy, spiritual sort of sense of it, it was incredible. The feeling was, to me, amazing. Really surprised me, because I wasn't expecting that at all as I walked around it. I wanted to show you. So looking up at the house, can you see the second picture that I'm showing? Where's that? Does it show up? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, let me do that again. Share. There you go. Okay, so this is looking up at the same house again. You're seeing the front of it, and this is when you start coming down the valley a little bit. The first part of the valley that you come down is these big fields that are sort of staggered, so where people would have farmed in the past. And to the east of these, there are water holes that have been built. And to the west and closer to the house are 2 drinking wells of water. And as you can see, there's trees sort of around the fields. It's not a very highly treed valley, but there's lots of young trees in it. The older trees are behind the house, but there's not many of them there. And what I noticed as I walked around it is how many different plants are all living together. I noticed on the other pieces of land that we saw, in some places it was literally just grasses and trees, like an orchard. And in the second one that we saw, which had been damaged by fire 2 years previous, the plants looked really sad. And also it was very windstruck. The interesting thing about this piece of land is that it is extremely high winds at the very top because it's a hill. And it was a windy day when we went, as some people have been there will attest to it. But as you go down the valley, it's completely sheltered on both sides by these rock formations. So as we went further down into the fields and down into what we called the prairie beyond, there was no wind that was being felt down there. Let me just stop sharing now. Something that I want to go into as well to describe the land, this was more Mirko's side of things, is what's actually on the land in terms of area. Something that we've got on paperwork here is that there's an agricultural area of 9 hectares, which, you know, some people have asked me when looking at the pictures, they said, but it's, you know, it looks like it's all rocky. It actually turns out that it's 64% of it is agricultural land, whether it's to kind of actually grow crops or have animals. So it's quite deceptive when you look at it at first, because also so much of it is overgrown. We were only really able to walk halfway down the valley ourselves. So one of the things to say about this project is that the land is very promising in many of the things that are written down, but also what we saw. But what's really positive about being able to rent it is the fact that we get the chance to prospect the land and to find out for ourselves what we really can do with it, which will give us a lot more sort of leverage and understanding and moving forward to buy it. Further, oh yes, there's also water springs further down the valley. So the wells are at the top and the watering holes are somewhere down the middle. And then down further at the bottom are the water springs. And there's also talk of damming and irrigation for agricultural purposes. And I think we need to look into that more, what's really meant by it. And whether that could be something that's useful to us or something that we don't need to worry about at all. But that's something for us to prospect, really. I think I can leave it there for now. And
yes, thank you, Paradox, because we want to next go to Pampa and maybe Demain Matin. You want to come in on this as well. Pampa, if you can talk about the what we're doing legally with the landlord, and Demain Matin maybe say something about, I believe the 3 of you with Mirko are thinking of being part of the initial renting group. So the 2 of you, I'll hand over to you to describe that aspect now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So concerning legal aspects, we're now working on a group with me, Blue Star, and the Mamata is giving a bit of support. We negotiated with the landlord €400 per month for a 2-year term. And that will be negotiated in case we continue renting and not pursuing with buying the land. Actually, the actual contract, it's 7 years. So the minimum contract that you can have for agricultural land in Portugal is 7 years. But we're now negotiating with the landlord that it will be 2 years. And then I hope after the 2 years, we will have a decision whether we are going to buy it or not. So that's up to us. What did I want to, yeah. Then the selling price is now 250,000 euro, but it's negotiable. I already had a few phone calls with the landlord, and he always say, but we can see it. It's a normal thing to do in Portugal. When you buy a piece of land, there's always negotiation. So that's something that we still can negotiate with the landlord. Meanwhile, we need also to start creating a non-profit or organization or a co-op. That's something that we're still trying to see what's the best formula to adopt in order to have legal support. We're still looking around. I'm looking with a lawyer. Demain Matin is looking with people who he knows that have these kind of structures to understand what would be the best option. Actually, the lawyer we have is lawyers doing pro bono, because he's not a faerie, but he's a faerie friendly person. So that's a very good thing. Nonetheless, we need to have a little bit of cash for legal stuff, but we will talk about cash later on. We also need now to find another structure, because we still don't have a legal structure in Portugal. We're also now studying another way of finding another structure within our faerie community. There's already a few ideas, but we will see when that comes, that there will be a temporary structure signing the contract. And later on, when we have a physical structure, then we take over with that structure. But for now, we will be working together temporarily with another structure. But that will be just symbolic, just to sign the contract. I think about the contract, that's it. Later on, I will talk about the residences, but this is the legal stuff. I don't know if Blue Star, you want to add something to it, or Demain Matin? That's it.
Let's have Demain Matin.
I don't have anything special to add to it. I sent questions out, but no answers yet about the co-ops. So we will keep you posted.
Beg your pardon, I muted myself by accident. Do you want to say anything, Demain Matin, about the three of you wanting to start from the 1st of February?
Well, you want to already speak about the residencies then?
Why not? We might as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you were too much.
I just wanted to say that if it's very complicated to find the legal structure to start, we also don't want to let the landlord wait with the contract. So there's a few people who raised their hand to say that they use their personal name to sign the contract and get it going, and that we then find the money through the faeries to pay for it. But there's like some people putting their name on the paper to get it happen. And I raised my hand together with a few others.
Okay, Blue Star's going next.
Yeah, we've got a couple of options at the moment. I think Mixture has a non-profit he's not using that I could become a director of. And there's also the possibility of using the faerie Yellow Brick Road Housing Co-op. So they're being looked at the moment. So there are definitely a couple of options there.
So I will carry on directly for the residencies. Normally it's Morco is going to take care of this work group, but unfortunately he could not be here. Nevertheless, we are aiming for a group about maximum 10 people, starting from February till April, to kind of see what kind of resources that we really need to do and to prepare the whole house. But it is open to the broader community to also figure it out if we need to have more people. The capacity now of the house, inside the house, that is, well, there was a bit of the description about the different housing. There is one house that is completely isolated. There's a fireplace, there's a huge kitchen inside. You can see the pictures on the presentation later on. So we kind of can accommodate to maximum 10 people, let's say, to be comfortable enough. So we will need to start with that. And what's one of the biggest priorities about residencies will be furnishing. So there's almost no beds and chairs and covers and kitchen tools, all the renovation tools also for the beginning. All of that we kind of need to start also together with this working group led by Morco, finding all this material to send to Sortella, to the place before February. So basically that's it about the residences, I would say.
So I'll apologize on behalf of Mirko, who was going to talk a lot about that aspect of what the property is like, and also Hagbard, who's the only one of us who's actually seen the inside in detail and has posted photos to us about the inside in detail and told us the kind of work that we might need to do. But Hagbard was going to try and talk tonight, but is unfortunately not able to be with us, so he can't give you a person account of that. But we have talked with him, and we feel that this is a doable project. It's ready to live in. There were people actually living in there up until a week or two ago, so it's not uninhabitable. It is okay for at least a few people to start living there, and the plan is that some people, Mirko in particular, will start living there in February. So I think now I'm going to ask Bulbul to talk about the fundraising aspect. If you'd like to do that, Bulbul.
Sure. Jumping Daffodil, you start sharing your screen and we're all seeing it. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Okay, thank you. So our plan currently is to start an online campaign. So there's going to be a page that looks like a crowdfundme or a regular web online fundraising. And it's going to be up in about a week or 10 days. So this campaign will have a lot of information about the actual property and more of the budget of what we're trying to raise and for what. So currently we're trying to raise money for between 2 years rent and a little bit of extra for legal fees and furniture and setup. So it's going to be something between 10 to 15,000 euros. And we're trying to get that done before the end of the year or before we actually moving in, which is February. After we're gonna do that, then once we're gonna move to the place, we're gonna start a different campaign, and that's gonna be the campaign to raise money for buying the property. And part of that mission will be to raise money through gatherings and through other events and activities in the property. So I think we will talk a little bit about the groups of the working circles that we now have. But I can say now that as part of the crowdfunding or the funding campaign that we're trying to do is we want to have at least one person from each community to take upon himself or themselves to sort of be the connection person that can lead the campaign in the local community. And hopefully we would like to have an event in each community that's maybe going to have a no talent show and an auction where people can come and auction off some items and raise money to the event. So besides the online campaign, we would like to see events happening in different communities. So if you're interested in being part of either helping in the online campaign or in facilitating an event in real life, please contact me, and there is a working group, and I will connect you to the working group.
Muted, yeah. Thank you, Bulbul. I also want to just quickly say that we have a twin track approach to fundraising. There's the immediate situation of fundraising for the immediate needs of the rent, but we also, while we're actually on the land, we're going to look at doing some much more beautiful videos to fundraise internationally, and we'll start a proper campaign to try and get some bigger funds in from rich people who are not necessarily going to be directly connected with us, but who might think that they're wonderful. And so we're going to do something very slick and beautiful, and hopefully that'll raise in lots of money to help buy the property. So I'm going to go over to Octopus, who's going to talk to us about reaching out to the community, communication. Anything else you want to say, Octopus? You just joined us. Hello.
Yeah, I have. Why is that not? Am I unmuted now? Yes, you can hear me. Everyone can hear me. Hello. I've got you all on gallery mode so I can see everyone's faces at once. It's lovely. Yeah, I have just joined. Oh, hi, Lumen. Hi. Is that Trusty? Hello. Yeah, so I have only just arrived. I'm sorry, I totally forgot about this meeting this evening. It's been a busy day. Yeah, in terms of communications and outreach to the community in general, I mean, you know, at this point, there's no kind of strategy in place, but very open to working with a small group of furries that are interested in understanding how we keep the community informed about the project going forward, what kind of resources that we need in order to do that, whether that's just going to be an existing Facebook page, or whether it's going to be on FairNet, or whether we look at an actual freestanding website, and what it means also in terms of working in communication with the fundraising team and the finance team in terms of generating some energy and some input from the community at large into those fundraising pots, etc. So yeah, very happy to work with anyone here really in looking at how we start to drum up some interest, excitement and inspiration around this project going forward.
Thank you, Octopus. We were also going to have just a quick word from Bad Dog, who unfortunately can't be with us tonight again. Bad Dog has been very involved in the video calls that we've been doing, and I think will be helping us to translate, certainly into Czech and Slovak languages. But we're also looking to translate all of our material into as many different languages as we can. And for that, we will need help from all sorts of people who feel competent to do that. So if you want to do nothing else for us, ask your friends if they feel competent to be translators of our written material so that we can get this distributed in different national languages. And I'll just say a little bit about what I'm doing personally. I'm quite keen to look at the internal rules of how we work as a body. I've been involved personally in setting up quite a number of different community organizations, cooperatives, not-for-profits, charities, the whole range of different kinds of community organizations. And so I'm helping to tailor the rules, our internal rules, and the way that we make decisions, the way that we make agreements with each other, the way that we work out what our objectives are, what our priorities are. All those kinds of things need some taking care of. And obviously we want to be democratic, we want to be involving everyone in the decision making, and we want a structure without hierarchy. So I'm trying to construct rules that actually reflect those kind of processes. We're looking at things like sociocracy to help decision making. So if you're interested in that aspect, I'm taking a lead on it, and we'd be very happy to have a working group with other people who want to help with that one. We have got a couple of people already, but if anyone else wants to help, that'd be very welcome. And again, you can email us to say that's your area of interest, or you can just put a note in the FaeNet group, or indeed get the Slack app on your phone. You can join us on Slack via the phone, or by having the app on your computer, on your desktop. Both of them work. I've got them both on mine. and it means that you get messages from the different groups instantly, just like you do with WhatsApp or all those other things. So that's basically how we're working and what we're getting up to now. Is there anyone here amongst the group that are already working with us that wants to say anything that we feel we've missed out? Raise your hand if you feel that we've said nothing about a particular part of it that really interests you. Okay, well, in that case, I'll ask the people who've just joined us. There's Apostazja. Would you like to say hello to us, Apostazja? No?
Unmuted.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. How's it going? Well, thank you for organizing. I'm on a train, so you might hear additional sounds that are not necessary. Well, I was interested in what you just said right now about the different forms of community organization, and I just wanted to ask perhaps this question right now. I'm not sure if this is the place to do it now or not, but I'm interested in what kind of legal form would we take in order to sign the agreement and then operate as a body, because there are several different options. That we could function as an NGO or a trust or you know, or so I was.
Sorry, can I stop you there? This is very early days for that. We are already we have already earlier discussed that, I think, before you joined us. We are hoping to use an organisation that one of the ones that we've got already, just as a temporary thing, and then take some time to work through this as a community, so we're not rushing it. We'll have a temporary situation where we sign up for renting the place, and then longer term we will form either a not-for-profit or a cooperative, but that will be part of the ongoing discussions. We're not ready to make a decision on that one yet, because we want it to be owned by all the community discussions, and this is just the first one of them, so it's too early to answer that question, except to say we're working on it. Thank you for your question. Anybody else want to, if you want to ask a question now, raise your hand and I can see how many people want to ask questions. I saw Helen Mirren raising hand. Anyone else? Did I miss anyone else? Okay, I'll go to Helen Mirren then. Ask a question.
I'm curious to know, the owner seems like a key figure in this, and I met him. I'm just wondering if Pan or someone else who's been dealing with him has more of an impression of him. How does he behave? What does he seem to think of the project? Does he seem reliable, etc.?
The only thing I can say is I've been having him on the phone. He seems like a nice person, but it's very difficult to judge on just being on the phone. From what I understand, he's really willing to negotiate with us and is willing to work together with us, because he was telling me there were other people interested in the property to rent it out, and he was like, but I promised you that you would be one of the first ones, so I'm actually coming forward to say you are the ones on the top of the list. And what did he say more? Yeah, I cannot judge the character. It's difficult. I understand that he wants to buy a property in the south of Portugal. That's one of the reasons why he wants to sell the property. And I kind of said, well, we also want to buy the property, but first we would like to experience it first. And he's like, okay, then let's do that and see how that evolve. I guess met you, so I guess he's fine with queer, lovely creatures going around. So I mean, it didn't sound like he has a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's useful to know.
So that answers your question, okay? And I think Priscilla wanted to say something as well. Yeah, would you like to go?
It was just to say thank you very much. I'm not able to stay longer on the call. I may have a lead on some bunk beds if you still need some furniture. I'm going to find out this evening if that's still available. And just to add, perhaps, that I'll be plugging away in Andalusia. I think we've got an event here in April of next year, and I'll do what I can to keep the word live and moving down here. And best wishes to you all, and hope to speak very soon.
Thank you, Priscilla. Do you want to listen to what Lumen and Trusty have to say before you go? Because would you?
I'd like to very much. Thank you.
Lumen and Trusty, would you like to comment on that?
We were just being supportive of the Andalus event, which will be in April, but nothing more than that, to be honest. Yeah.
No, we're very, very excited about everything happening in Portugal. It's fantastic. But we were just talking with Luna about things in Andalusia for April, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, more info will be sent on that soon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anyone else who wants to raise their hand and talk? Bulbul. Okay, you're next.
I wanted to say two things. One is, besides the group on FANET, there's also a page now for the sanctuary. So we're gonna start using it as a platform to ask questions in the community, or to post announcements as well. So if you didn't like the page yet, please go to FANET and do a like, and then you get some notification around it. The second thing that I wanted to ask or to say is that we would like to post this video of our meeting, of this meeting, in Facebook and in FANET. So most of the visuals is the people who actually talk, but maybe your image, your head will be there for a little bit. So if you have any problem with it and you would like me to remove you from the video, just contact me after the meeting, and I'll make sure that you are not part of the video that we're publishing.
Thank you, Bulbul. This is one of the good things that we've been doing. We've been finding out how this particular thing that we're using now, Zoom, how we can actually have these virtual meetings, and it's been really helpful. We're finding it a very good tool, and then we found we could actually record these meetings as well, which serves as a record for people who are not able to be physically present. So we want to make this process very inclusive and transparent and involve people. But I do also want to stress, from my own point of view, at some point, I think it's going to be very necessary for us to see who is actually committed in a dedicated way to this project. Obviously, there's going to be a group of people that are really going to take this to heart, do a lot of work, feel a commitment to this project. And then there's going to be a wider group that are just going to be interested and wish it well, but not very involved. And at some point, we're going to have to make that distinction clear, because it'll help us to function in terms of decision making, because what we don't want is people making a lot of radical decisions about the project, but not actually being involved in the project, because that will be counterproductive. So have a think about how much you people here, us together, how much we want to form that working group that's really dedicated to this, or how much we just want to be supporters and wish it well, but not take part in the major decisions. So have a think about your personal part that you want to play in this. So anyone else who wants to talk, maybe one of the people that hasn't said anything so far, raise your hand or say something to indicate that you want to speak. All quiet. Okay. So I haven't seen a sign from anyone else that wants to speak who hasn't spoken very much so far. So is there anyone with any more questions, even if you have spoken? Or just comments, it doesn't have to be a question.
I think we said that we're going to do the meeting 40 minutes, and we're 43 minutes, so
okay.
It's
we've
great
come to the end then.
We have a
okay.
very short and concise video to post for everybody, so it's great.
Okay, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone was happy before we finished.
Have we agreed?
Octopus?
Have we agreed another kind of check in beyond this, or what's happening via another meeting?
Okay, well, what's happening now is that all the working groups are going to go away and carry on working. We also have what we're calling a sanctuary circle on Saturday, and that is for all the working groups to come together and discuss the overall problems or issues that we want to work together to report on how far the working groups have got, to raise issues for what we're going to do next.
Cool.
But in between those sanctuary circles, we expect the working groups to just get on however best they wish to get on, whether it's by email, by video call, or by whatever other means they like. And then we come together in these sanctuary circles. We haven't discussed the frequency of how, I guess we'll discuss that on Saturday, how often we want the sanctuary circles to happen. But I guess at this current stage, we probably want them once every week or 10 days, I guess, because things are fast moving at the moment. So that's the way, that's the way that the working groups are. And then at some point we'll have a community meeting like this open to lots of other people as well, but we haven't had a date for that. Paradox, what were you going to say?
Well, just because it is being recorded and people are going to watch this, really to sort of reiterate at the end of this meeting that, you know, we were here to give an update, but also we're looking to recruit. You know, there's some of us working on this and we're getting to a certain speed with it, but we need more energy, more blood. And, you know, not only people on this video, but people watching this afterwards. We need people who want to get involved, who are interested in getting involved on many different levels, whether it's financial, communication, legal, pioneership. You know, come and join us and let's all work together on this. And that's why we're doing it.
Yes. So this is for information and for recruiting. So if you want to get recruited, email us or contact us via Faerie or Facebook or just by personal contact. If you have friends who are interested, ask them to do the same. Any last comments? Because we are wrapping up now. We are finishing. Pan?
So I just posted the email address on our chat, so everyone has access to it. So every question that we have, or if you want to reach out directly, that's an easy way. And then there's also the page of the sanctuary, so on Freenet. So there's these two mediums that you, if you have questions, just send it there, and then we will manage to direct them to whom that needs to.
Thank you very much all for participating. The questions that we didn't have time to answer now, some of them were detailed. I saw them flashing up. Please address them to us. We will answer them directly to you. So don't worry if you didn't get an answer now. We will find a way to answer you in the next few days. Thank you very much for participating. And we'll see you all again soon, either online or in the actual flesh. So thank you very much and goodbye. We're going to end now. So time.